The trouble with Bear. The blistering heat was less to be admired. Most engines on Sir Topham's Railway disliked it, especially Duck and Oliver, who enjoyed the Little Western ever since. All except 7101, after being repainted in the same color as Henry, who had spoken a good word with him. Most summer days you can find him pulling slow goods train instead of his usual express. It's much more calming, he told the other engines, who after giving him a warm welcome one morning. What they will be calling will be this heat to descent. James snorted. I'm glad you're not the only one who has to deal with their complaining, Henry chuckled to 7101. It could get rather nettling. Soon, 7101 was out with the slow goods. That day was hotter than most, and 7101 had to admit he was burned out. Not too far to the last station, 7101 said to himself as he rumbled through the station. Just ahead, near the bridge, there seemed to be something on there as 7101 grew near. Luckily, he was going faster and stopped. The animals seemed to notice too, as he did. It grunted and growled at him. 7101 was most surprised. Well, I'll be, he exclaimed. Now, how did that get on the line? His driver asked, scratching his head. I'll call the last station. Hopefully they'll be able to help, said the conductor. I hope so, answered 7101. I don't want to be here much longer. It looks hungry. His driver laughed. Don't worry, 7101. Bears don't eat engines. They only eat honey, berries, and other things. The bear growled again. 7101 accidentally growled too. That did the trick, frightening the bear away into the bushes. 7101 didn't know what to think, nor did his driver, so with a honk in his horn, he continued his way. By the time 7101 returned home, hearing the word had spread. He's like a bear, Henry joked. How ironic. His heat must finally be getting to you, Bear. Well, that wasn't fair, Gordon said. Rubbish, chimed in James. I remember quite clearly that you made a cool cow feel uncomfortable. Bah! I didn't even want to hurt the poor thing. But I could never get scared by a little furry creature. I just tried to settle her. It seems that 7101 is trying to communicate in this point. Henry closed his eyes and went to sleep. 7101, on the other hand, just rolled his eyes. Not because he was cross, because he couldn't help it. Next day, Henry was ordered to take the slow freight, while 7101 was asked to pull the express. He was in good spirits and running well, too well. Steady on, boy, called his driver. We're not the express. Henry ignored him. He stopped at the station to take on more water. Soon, the water was poured into Henry's tender. Although the coolness was short and lasted as the water stopped, only a quart of his fireman sighed. Definitely not enough to get up to the next station. Oh, nonsense, scoffed Henry. We can make it. The fireman wasn't sure, but didn't wish to argue. Soon they were off again. Henry was enjoying himself, but hurrying used a lot of water, and the heat didn't help. Henry could feel himself going slower and slower, until he came to a complete halt in front of the viaduct. Bone dry, the fireman scolded. I knew you could make it, but you insisted anyway. Henry let out a groan, and so did something else. Henry could hear a faint growling sound close by. He was spooked. "What was that?" he said meekly. The growl got louder and closer until... "Oh, stay back! Go away, you foul furry! Honk! 7101?" As Henry's steam disappeared, there stood 7101. "Oh, 7101! Am I glad to see you?" "Ha ha! Are you indeed?" 7101 chuckled. "Just a few minutes ago, you were practically crying out for help. You could never get scared by a furry little creature, and I remember you saying, if I hadn't come, you might have just been." Henry blushed and looked down at his buffers as 7101 laughed. When the two got home, Henry spoke to 7101 in the shed. "I'm sorry, 7101. I shouldn't have called you Bear. If it wasn't for you, blah 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 blah, etc. etc. Oh no, Henry. I won't mind being called Bear from now on, and I like it," smiled the Diesel. "I just hope next time you actually do run into a bear, you weren't carried away." "So your name is Bear now?" asked Henry thoughtfully. "Certainly," answered Bear. "You know, it's nicer than just a number. Having a name means that you really belong."